Hi, Bestie. I'm back. Today is Wednesday, July 15th, and this is episode 9 of the Blind Box podcast. Today's episode is a three-parter. We're going to talk about some Pop Mart pop-up news. We'll take a look at new releases and leak speculation chatter. And then we'll talk about the Bestie Awards. I've done a lot of work on finalizing the categories, so I want to go through it all with you first. But first, my rite of passage as a novice podcaster. With episode 8 last week, I accidentally somehow downloaded the wrong file and uploaded the raw footage from my iPhone voice notes app. So there's these awkward pauses and areas where I stop and then repeat myself. It's a mess. And I did not know for days because I was in the car. I had Spotify on, and the first thing that loaded was episode 8 started playing. And at first I didn't notice that it wasn't the final file. And so a few minutes in, I make a little mistake and I'm like, I'm surprised I didn't edit that out. I must have meant to, and I forgot to. And then another minute later, it's another mistake. And then another few seconds later, there's another mistake. And I'm like, oh no, this is not right. Hold on. And of course, I kind of fast forwarded a bit and I was like, oh, no. And you can't fix that from your phone. So the whole time I was out of the house, I was like, oh my gosh, how embarrassing. But it's no big deal. It's no biggie. This is so casual. This is fun. We're not worried about it. We're not stressing. I fixed it. We're moving on. We're on episode 9. And who's episode 8? I don't know who that is anyway. So let's get into it. First things first, I want to talk about the New York City pop-up. So we've seen the 10th anniversary pop-up of the Monsters artwork going around to different places. And I remember at the end of last year, the Labubu, the plush pendant, the all black with the number 10 on his t-shirt, that item was selling for so many dollars because you could only get it there at the pop-up. Well, the pop-up seems to be on a world tour. So this weekend, actually on Friday the 17th, it's opening its New York City leg, and it looks like it's going to run all the way until the end of August. I don't think I'll be able to make it, unfortunately. The pop-up is an exhibit to Casing Lung's artwork of the Monster series over the last 10 years. And so it looks like if you go, you can see sketches and concept art, sculptures and paintings, and exhibits like Labubu's covering the whole room. The tickets are not expensive. Of course, you do need to get to New York if you're not a local there, but it's $20 for an adult ticket and $10 for a child. Also, for $100, you can get a VIP ticket that includes that bundle with the Labubu plush pendant and a few other items that are exclusive to the event. It looks cool. I'm interested in hearing how it goes. I'll be chatting with some friends who are attending the opening weekend, so stay tuned for our recap and conversation, probably in the next episode. I want to sit down and talk about what they saw, if it met their expectations, what they thought it was going to be like, was it crowded, just hear how it went, and try to help you answer the question, is it worth the ticket and maybe the trip to New York? If you're a big Labubu fan, should you check it out, or should you just watch the recap videos that everyone will be posting who's going? We'll find out together. And I do hope that Pop Mart does more fun pop-ups here in the United States because we see so many cool regional exclusive pendants or figures that you can only get if you're at a certain toy convention. And we don't really have that same opportunity here in the States. But if they do more fun exhibits or events like this, then perhaps we could. Now, would it be an episode of the Blind Box Pod if we didn't talk about the upcoming new releases from Pop Mart this week? On Thursday, July 16th, Dimoo and Pixar collab launches. And this collab, they did a lot. There's so many different accessories. There's full-size figures, there's pop bees, there's plush pendants. I think it's a really cute series. But one of my favorite things is that the prices feel reasonable. The first Dimoo World and Disney collab, those plush pendants were $50. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. This Dimoo World Pixar series, they are $29.99 each. That to me is so much more reasonable for a plush pendant, and it's less than the hair salon Labubu somehow. I want to talk about my favorite things in the Dimoo World Pixar series. First, I love the pop beans. They're so cute and teeny tiny and adorable. Pop Mart's been crushing it with their bean game lately. Their Pop Bean Island Vacation series, which is not coming to the United States for some reason, is perhaps my favorite thing I've seen from Pop Mart all year long. I haven't made the effort to track this down yet. I'm still waiting till August before I make another purchase because of all the YOLOing I did for my birthday. Um, but yeah, in August, this bad boy, the Pop Bean Island Vacation series, and some of these Dimoo Pixar figures may be on my hit list. Now, from the Dimoo Pixar series, I do like the plush pendants. I think they're cute, but my favorite one is the secret Buzz Lightyear, and the fact that he's the secret is just like I just am not going to try to chase it. I do think I'll shake all the boxes in store and see if I can guess which one is Buzz Lightyear, but mostly, I think the figures are my favorite part of this series. The figures are so cute and detailed and varied, and I feel like they all do something fun. Like Dimu as Miguel Rivera from Coco, he has his little sugar skull mask that magnetizes onto his head. Dimu as Dash from The Incredibles. I saw someone's unboxing video where his hair lights up. That's cool. I, of course, am obsessed with all the space themed Dimus in this series and completely devastated that the aliens from Toy Story in the space crane is the secret figure. But on the other hand, that secret figure looks so bulky compared to all the other series that maybe I have a chance at finding this out in the wild by shaking boxes. I don't know. I would love to have that one in my collection. But again, I'm trying to be reasonable. I'm trying to be mindful. Thank you, episode 7. And I'm just gonna, do my best here. My surprise favorite item are the Pixar magnetic phone holder blind boxes. Have you seen those? They're like pop sockets. They're so cute. They're $22, which is, comparable to the price of a pop socket. And there's only 6. But again, my favorite is the secret. Dimu as the little Toy Story alien. It's so cutie pie. I think even though I'm loving this series, I think I'm going to sit this week out. The only thing that's tempting me really is that magnetic phone holder blind box because that feels so practical that it feels almost like it would be a loophole in my don't buy anything till August rule. Now, another thing making it easier for me to pass on this week's Dimoo Pixar series are the Skullpanda leaks that we've been seeing. And I'm specifically talking about their collaboration with the fashion designer Robert Wun. You may have seen on TikTok or Facebook or Reddit or Instagram or RedNote this photo of a new Skullpanda pendant leaked at Paris Fashion Week. And I had to look up a little bit about Robert Wun, but it sounds like he and Skullpanda are a match made in blind box heaven, because here's what Robert Wun's description is from Google. Robert Wun's iconic dresses are celebrated for their dramatic sculptural silhouettes, surrealist themes, and cinematic storytelling. Known for defying convention, the Hong Kong-born, London-based designer often blends themes of glamour with gothic and sci-fi elements. How cool is that? Oh my gosh, glamour with gothic and sci-fi elements? Sign me up. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to resist this one. And luckily for me, I was watching Linda's video on TikTok where she talks about what we know so far from the rumors and leaks that are publicly available. And speculation on the street is that these are going to be mini plush pendants, which I will find absolutely irresistible, like we have observed. All of these figures are cuter when you make them half the size. But also one thing she says is that right now it's looking like it will release at the end of July, which is perfect. Like we said, we're not buying anything till August. And the end of July and August are basically the same. So that works out perfectly for me, I think. So there is some official Pop Mart news about this collab published by Pop Mart. And one of the posts I saw announcing this collaboration during the Paris Fashion Week said that the collection is inspired by the When I Grow Up, in all caps, chapter from his Fall/Winter 2026 collection. The collaboration brings couture craftsmanship into the world of Skullpanda, transforming cosmic journeys into a story of imagination, direction, and the future. Now that's really cool. I think that their all caps emphasis of the When I Grow Up chapter from the collection makes me curious if that will be the official name of this series of plush pendants or figures or anything that comes out from this line. I saw a leaked image of a ball joint doll that may be part of their official Paris Fashion Week collection that's on display. The doll is wearing a recreation of one of his runway designs, which I think is such a cool idea. Obviously, fashion dolls have been around for a long time, but this kind of takes it to a whole new level. I'm sure it will be beautiful and unique and different and really tastefully done. Okay, so here's the part of the new release speculation agenda where we're going to talk about some of the publicly shared, speculated Pop Mart leaks of upcoming new products that have not been officially announced or officially sneak peeked in a fashion show, for example. Now, in the past, these types of leak lists have proven to be pretty true and reliable. The only thing that sometimes changes is like the release order, I've noticed, and the final product naming that we see on these leaks is oftentimes weirdly translated from the actual, Chinese list. Regardless, though, before we talk about the leak lists, I just wonder how much of this is intentional marketing, hype building strategy by Pop Mart? It just feels so consistently reliable and predictable. First, we get the list of a few months worth of releases. Then we'll get a blurry pic that looks like somebody took it with their 2004 Nokia phone in the warehouse. And then we'll get about a week's worth of fan submitted AI enhanced images, which never quite do the product justice, honestly. And then finally, we'll wake up on like a Wednesday and we'll get a whole official teaser trailer video from Pop Mart. It just feels so consistent that I think it must be an official strategy. Again, though, who knows? That's just me speculating based on publicly available information. I know nothing. I'm just sitting here in my living room. I'm not affiliated with a Pop Mart, but let's talk about the leak list. So the first thing on the list is a Skullpanda blind box. I'm not sure if this is the same as the Robert Wun collab, but it would make sense if it is. The second thing is interesting. I think it's a new IP that Pop Mart's developed called Rise Boy Group. It's a series plush keychain. I'm thinking it's like a boy band type series, which could be cute. The third thing on the list is a Starman vinyl plush box, but we know that that's like a translation version of Twinkle Twinkle. So I'm wondering if this is going to be a whole new series of Twinkle Twinkle. It feels like we're due. I don't think we've had one since February's Valentine's series. And speaking of Twinkle Twinkle, I saw that Singapore is getting a regional exclusive plush version of Twinkle Twinkle as a merlion, which that sounds really cool. The merlion, I looked up and learned, is the official mascot of Singapore. It's the head of a lion on the body of a fish. So literally a mermaid lion mashup. And it's supposed to symbolize Singapore's transformation from a humble fishing village to a modern economic powerhouse. That's pretty cool. I love the regional significance of it and the story behind it. So I'm excited to see more of that and to see when it gets officially announced what it looks like. I'm sure they're going to do a great job on it. There's no way you make a plush that's supposed to symbolize the entire country without making it awesome. Now, there's two more things on this leak list. The fourth item is, I believe, a Care Bear Crybaby plush pendant series. And then the fifth item is the Nyota Chibi Maru series figure and hang card. Now, just today, this afternoon, I started seeing some leaks of this series. It looks quite cute. So this appears to be inspired by a Japanese illustration series called Chibi Maruko-chan. The original series is from the 1970s, but it had a spin-off in the 1990s. So this is going to be a series that feels very nostalgic to people. And speaking of nostalgic, I just saw a Tom and Jerry collaboration. Now this time is with 52 Toys and not with Pop Mart, but it's the Puka Puka figure. And that released just this week, actually, on July 13th. And this is so cute, for real. So I feel like me looking at this Tom and Jerry series is going to be like other people in Japan looking at this Nyota series. Because when I was a kid growing up in the 90s, we watched a lot of Tom and Jerry. It feels so nostalgic. But there's characters in this Puka Puka series that I don't fully recognize. So they must be from newer versions of the cartoon that I'm not familiar with, is my guess. I don't know. Maybe I just wasn't paying that much attention as a little kid. Either way, I feel like nostalgia is one of the pillars of blind box and designer toy culture. And, Pop Mart, 52 Toys, these companies know that if it speaks to our childhood, we're very likely to end up purchasing it and adding it to our collection. They're not wrong. They're not wrong at all. If this week's new releases and leak lists and sneak peeks are any indicator of what is to come in 2026, I feel like we all got to buckle up. I mean, everything just feels like the designs and the character art has been taken to a whole new level. And I'm just genuinely excited to see it all. Even if, none of us participate by purchasing, I'm excited to see it all and to see our friends unbox it and to hear our besties review of what they love and what they don't love. Speaking of which, actually, that leads me to the final chapter of this episode. Let's talk about the Blind Box Podcast Besties Choice Awards. At this point, I'm so glad that we decided to split this up into mid-year and end of the year, because it really does feel like perfectly natural to just look at the first 6 months and talk about those 6 months, pick our favorites, and then do it again at the end of the year. I think we're all going to be relieved that we're not trying to vote on a whole year's worth of series all at once. And I think we're going to be happy that we broke it up into the first half of the year, the last half of the year, and then an overall best of at the end of the year as well. With that said, let's talk about the categories. So, for the first half of the year, I have put together 6 categories for the community to vote on. The first category is Best Plush Pendant Series. I thought it would be a good idea to break up the Blind Box series into Plush Pendant Series and Figure Series awards. So, the second award category is the Best Figure Series. These two are so similar. The idea behind these two categories is if you could only pick one plush pendant series or one figure series from the time frame of January to June, what would you pick? It could be for any reason, but just what's your personal favorite series? The next category of awards are more conceptual driven. So these awards celebrate the creativity, the unexpected standouts that made this year so much fun to collect and be part of. So Bestie Choice category 3 is Best Art and Design. Here we're asking you which series was the most visually beautiful or uniquely designed. Out of everything that launched so far this year, which do you think had the best art and design? The fourth award category is Most Creative Storytelling. In our mindfulness episode, a lot of us talked about resonating with series that have story and lore that speak to us. So in this category, you're going to vote for which series had the strongest concept, world building, emotional theming, or lore. I love this category and I can't wait to see what you guys pick. Now, these last 2 award categories I think are super fun. The 5th category of awards will be given to the series that you find the most unexpected favorite. This might be an underdog. This might be a series that you slept on and then discovered. But in this category, I want you to pick which series didn't draw you in initially, but ultimately won you over and exceeded your expectations. There's a few that come to mind for me, but I think I know what my vote would be here. Now you tell me yours. And last but certainly not least, our final award will go to the community's favorite IP. This category is called Personal Favorite IP. And here I want you to pick overall, not series specific, not concept specific, just which IP has been your favorite in the first half of this year so far. I love that IPs grow on us and our rankings change over time. So the idea here is just to have a snapshot as we head into the last half of the year, which IPs are our favorite. And if we get a lot of participation in these categories, we'll have our own community voted ranking of our top IPs, which I think is a really cool idea. We won't even have to wait for the 2026 revenue reportings from Pop Mart. We'll know based on our awards what are the top IPs for Pop Mart. Am I the only one that thinks that's cool? I don't know, maybe. Bestie, if you've made it this far, I want to say thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the Blind Box podcast. And thank you for being willing to consider participating in our first ever Bestie's Choice Awards. I said this on TikTok, but when I was looking up, has anybody done this before? Google Gemini told me no. So I guess it's official. We're making history here. By the time you are listening to this episode, our voting will be live, and you can find the link to vote at our Substack. So to get there, go to your browser and type blindboxpod.substack.com. And the very latest episode should be an episode recap and the link to vote in our Bestie's Choice Awards. If you're following me on TikTok, you can also just send me a message or post a comment on my video, and I will be sure to send that link directly to you in DM so that you're able to click straight through to it and open it up in your browser. I'm really excited about this. I love data, and I'm very excited to crown the winners. I have an idea of announcing the winners in a very interactive way, and to be part of that, you're going to have to vote. So make sure you vote and stay tuned to hear more. Okay, guys, I think that's it for me. It's funny because when I started recording, I was like, I'm sure this is going to be another short week, but now I'm sitting on a kind of a long episode. So thank you so much for listening. I love having you part of the Blind Box podcast community. Until next time, I hope you pull all your targets and that the secret gods are in your favor.